As an entrepreneur, what I absolutely love about cryptocurrency is that it's a movement entirely run by a network of entrepreneurs. With hundreds of billions of dollars currently in crypto, the entrepreneurs in this space continue to develop and evolve cryptocurrency, and the future looks unstoppable. Marketers, how you doing, play an important role in the growth of crypto, and in the digital age of marketing, some of the biggest influencers in crypto are actually anonymous characters. To help you understand what I mean, I'm going to chat with one of those anonymous characters. That anonymous character is Crypto Mirage. How you doing?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me. You know, for those who follow us, they know you and I haven't always seen, eye to eye. I think I made a video where I might have said some shit. Sorry about that. But we're cool now. But when I look back on our issues, I look at it all as a learning experience and a lesson of how complex cryptocurrency is. What value do you place on experience in crypto?
Yeah. So, going back to the whole feud and all that. Stuff happens. It's not a big deal.
Sure.
But yeah, the value and the experience. Obviously, in any field in life, the more you do something, the more you start picking up on, little trends and patterns and things that you notice, moving forward that help, each iteration be a little bit better than the last.
That's right.
And even if you sit there and, study something out of a book, it's not going to give you, that level of experience and that pattern recognition and, all that good stuff. So yeah, there's definitely, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And it just keeps getting better as time goes on.
I agree with you. When did you first get into crypto and how'd that all come about for you?
Yeah, so I first heard about it from a good friend of mine who had a background in computer science.
Okay.
And at the time, of course, Bitcoin wasn't anything. It was just like basically some crazy, paper someone had posted and wasn't worth anything. No one really cared about it, or, it wasn't what it is today.
So what year would this have been?
It was back in let's say early 2010.
Okay.
Somewhere in that time frame.
Going
it was
way back.
Almost near the inception of it. Someone brought it to my attention. And at the time, the way it was explained to me wasn't, satisfactory to my skepticism. So I just basically was like, whatever. It sounds kind of stupid in my opinion at that time.
What didn't you like about it at that time?
It's just the way that the coins were minted and the whole mining process, the way it was explained wasn't, it didn't really do justice to what it actually is. And, at that time I was also busy with other things in my life and didn't really, put forth effort to look into it myself until later. And just kind of left it as is. And then, fast forward a few years later, I start looking into it, still not super popular, but it's matured quite a bit by this point. I start looking into it maybe, 2014, 15 time range.
Yeah.
Start doing research, just reading up on it, not investing really at this point, just looking at it and seeing what's going on and what it's all about. Get a good feel for what it is and decide, okay, I'm going to take the plunge. So I start investing money, around the 2016 time frame.
Okay.
Little here, little there. I'm not going to just throw the bank at it, but start putting a little bit here, a little bit there. Focused on Bitcoin, obviously.
Yep.
But and then as it moved forward, I started getting into altcoins.
Do you remember the first altcoin that you bought?
My very first altcoin that I bought was actually Ethereum.
Okay.
This was back when it was, obviously not as big as it is now.
Right. Yeah.
But anyways, I dabbled a little bit here and there, and didn't have a channel at this point. Honestly, it wasn't even on my radar. It wasn't something I intended to do at that point. And kept trading here and there. Had a couple nice big breaks, which we could discuss a little bit later in the interview. And then December of last year, December 2017, I decided after watching a lot of YouTubers, and, a lot of other content that was out there, that it's just, well, why can't I do this? There's a lot of people that are doing it, so fuck it, I'll just go out there and just make my videos and just do my opinion. It's not going to be some professionally put together stuff or theatrical or anything, but I was just like, why not? Let's just see what can happen. And that's kind of what, that's kind of, the rest is history at that point.
So with you being involved in so much, like what does cryptocurrency mean to you then?
To me,
Yeah.
personally, the entire space means just general freedom. So
Yep.
like just financial freedom from the fractional reserve banking system, just the ability to control your own money. I mean, obviously, there's some pitfalls as this is still early in its development cycle. There's still things that are less than ideal,
Right.
but I don't think a lot of people really, especially people not in crypto right now, don't really understand that the fiat money they hold in their hands is debt. It's slavery. It's not what they think it is.
Right.
They go buy their bread, they go buy their gas or whatever the hell they're buying with their money, and they don't even think about what they're using to buy stuff with and whether it has any intrinsic value or really anything beyond just the trust and faith people put in it to know that the next day they're going to be able to buy something with it. At least they think they know that. But yeah, to me, cryptocurrencies is I don't know if it'll ever replace all currencies in the future, at least not in our lifetimes.
Right.
But I mean, it is something that I think is possible. But I mean, it's obviously way off. At least a few decades, before that's even achievable.
So did cryptocurrency open your eyes to that, or is that something you had known for years prior?
Well, I had known about the fractional reserve banking and all that nonsense
Yeah.
A few years prior, and it just when I saw the cryptocurrency stuff, I was like, you know what, if this actually bears out, this actually could solve this problem where people are just you got the few people on the top echelons that are basically benefiting off of everyone else's hard work.
Yeah.
Essentially,
It's true. So you've got a lot of new people who are entering the space, and like we said, this is a very complex area. What advice would you offer to a crypto noob who's brand new to crypto?
Yeah, so I mean, there's obviously a lot of people that join my channel that they either don't know a lot,
Yeah.
or maybe they don't know anything at all. It's the first time they've dived into the space, and I know a lot of people, if were asked that question, the first thing that would come out of their mouth is do your own research. But the thing is, I mean, yeah, everyone should do their own research, but I don't think that the people that are that new to the space really have the capacity to go through code repositories, vet development teams, understand some of the more involved concepts. I mean, I have people asking me, how do you set up nodes and how do you do this, and just like basic stuff. And these people really don't. I mean, at this point in their development, they're not ready to really lean on their own research in the the broadest sense of the term. I mean, they can go do their research if they want.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be. We'll put it this way: it's not going to be as, I guess, useful to them as getting opinions from multiple sources.
Right.
So I highly encourage people new to the space to not just focus on one source of information. Try to get information from lots of sources, see where they agree, see where they disagree, and then try to formulate opinions around that rather than going off and trying to figure out all this stuff on their own. And the biggest thing that I notice a lot of new people do is they have this pie in the high sky dream of, I'm going to invest today and I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, that's just, it is what it is. I mean, it's happened to some in the past, and obviously everyone would love for that to happen to them. Well, they really need to temper that expectation, because that is the single best way to wipe yourself out in one bad trade.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it is. It's the ambition of people assuming they're going to get rich overnight, and then, the highs and the lows and the chaos of crypto right now, especially vulnerable to the newbies, like you said.
Yeah.
What's the best trade you've ever made?
So the best trade I ever made was last year.
Yeah.
I was trading Litecoin, and this is before it was like in the $20 range.
Yep.
So this is before it had shot up. And this was also before I had also set up my channel. So this is pre-channel. I was trading Litecoin in the $20 range. I had some coworkers and stuff that were, interested, and they were like, hey, what coins do you recommend? I'm like, well, I'm trading Litecoin because this thing is way undervalued. I mean, it's pretty much, basically like Bitcoin, but just without some issues, in terms of like network congestion and other things. And, a lot of them were giving me a lot of shit over when I was buying it because, I mean, like you said, there's dips. Like it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. So I'm sitting here watching this thing go up and down. One day I'm at a loss, the next day I'm at a gain, the next day I'm at a loss. It's just, for months this is going on. Nothing's happening. And I had some people who were like, I think you picked a shit coin. Like, we're done. We're getting out. I'm like, you do what the fuck you want.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and I'm going to keep buying more of this stuff as I can because I really believe that this thing's going to shoot up. And sure enough, all it took was basically just a few days and this thing's over $200. And of course, at that point, all the people that were giving me shit were like, holy crap, you know how it is.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you're right, everyone's like, you're like their best friend.
Right.
In that journey leading up to that moment, they freaking hate you. And this is like, well, do what you want, but I see the potential here. And, that was the single best trade that I made, that particular year. And really, I think the whole time I've been trading. I mean, I've not sat there and just, catalog every single one of them, but that's one of the ones that really sticks out to me.
So with that, what's the worst trade you've ever made?
The worst one, and this is mainly my fault.
Yeah.
This was early on when I was not as experienced with the whole trading scene. I was trading stellar lumens, which had I held it through today, I would have actually still made a lot of money. But at the time, it didn't seem that way. So I was in stellar lumens. It was sitting at about like 4 or 5 cents ish. It was fluctuating.
Yep.
And I didn't go like all in on it or anything. I don't go all in on any trades, but I went pretty heavy into it. And then it wasn't long after I got some that it dropped about 50%. It was down to like 2.5 cents, 2 cents. It gone down significantly.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there thinking, shit, like this really sucks. So I sat there and I held it stubbornly. I was not going to let it go. And it eventually did break even, but it took several months. And in the meantime, I lost a lot of opportunities where I could have put that money to good use elsewhere, which is that's why I consider it the worst trade. It's not that I lost on that particular trade. It's that I lost a lot of really nice opportunities in the meantime. So I consider those losses for the overall scheme of things.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It eventually broke even. I sold it. And then, of course, after I sold it, it went way up, and I was pissed.
Yeah, that's the way it always goes, right? But in the grand scheme of things, that's not too horrible.
Yeah.
So you've been involved with a few projects that have included a fork, such as ZCL a few months back with the Bitcoin private. Do you think now that there's too many forking projects as a result of this? And do you think there'll ever be another ZCL like we saw a few months back?
Yeah, so, I mean, one of the things that got me interested in these fork projects is back when, I don't know if you remember NXT, when they did the airdrop.
Yep.
So that was the first one that I, kind of got involved with, and I made a pretty good, run on that one.
So did I.
That was also, what was that?
So did I on NXT, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that was also before the channel, so, like, this is pre-Crypto Mirage days, but, after I saw that pattern of behavior where people were, pumping up coins that otherwise didn't really warrant it, just simply because there's a chance of getting another one, it just piqued my curiosity, and I thought, okay, well, why couldn't this happen with other coins? And sure enough, it did. I mean, and to varying degrees. I mean, Z Classic did, an exceptional job with the Bitcoin private branding and everything that they were doing to make people feel comfortable to buy this coin, well above, obviously, where Bitcoin private's valued today.
Sure, yeah.
And, it mainly was just a pattern that I noticed that was, it's like, okay, I can make some profits off of this because people will buy into this.
Yeah.
Why is not really my concern. It's just they will do it. But, I mean, obviously, as this continues to go forward, we're going to see more and more of these forks and airdrops. And eventually they're going to lose their luster. The thing is, after enough people, I mean, obviously, in every one of these transactions, someone's losing money.
Yep.
I mean, someone's buying the top, and then you have people that bought, towards the beginning or somewhere in the middle, and they're making money. But eventually, enough people are going to lose money that they're not going to want to participate in any more of these. And you'll, just like the ICO craze of last year, you're going to see these things temper off. And not only that, but I mean, just like in the ICO world, there's going to be teams that are going to come forward with the intention of scamming people, with the intention of just milking it for what it is. And, you know, that's not going to, you know, obviously facilitate an environment where this can continue. Eventually money will dry up.
Do you think with ZCL as well, it was kind of the perfect storm at that time? Like you look at the market, I think Bitcoin went from 8 or 9 to 19.6, you know, with the low supply and all the marketing it was the perfect time for that.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Yeah. The timing did work out rather nicely.
Yeah. So when people claim you use inside information and you pump and dump on them, what do you say to those claims?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's really nothing I can say to, you know, prove them wrong. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I could have multiple wallets. I could have multiple accounts. I could have, you know, someone off in the corner on another computer trading on my behalf. I mean, there's all sorts of things that, you know, what if. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't really concern myself with, you know, what people think, because I mean, basically what they're saying when they say that is if they were in my position, that's what they would do. Which, I mean, that's fine. I don't expect every single person that follows me to be wholesome or, you know, to have some sort of, you know, ethics guiding their behavior. But, you know, at the end of the day, the first thing that I want to mention is that I don't really have the following to really effectively do that.
Yep.
I got like 3,000 subs on YouTube. I got like 1.5K followers on Twitter. I got under 1,000 people on Telegram. I mean, it's a decent sized following for some guy that's doing this as a hobby, but in the large scheme of things, it's tiny compared to people who actually do pump and dump on purpose. And then the other aspect is, you know, if I really wanted to do that with a small following, you know, at the very least, I would have to do it in an obvious sense where I'm like, okay, guys, we're getting ready to pump this coin. You know, here's our targets. Because otherwise, if it's just a bunch of random people listening to my opinion, and I'm not even really telling them to buy or sell, I'm just saying, hey, I like this project, I don't like this project, or whatever. You know, there's no telling on when people are going to buy. You know, are they going to buy it at the instant that I say something, or are they going to buy it a day later? I mean, like, we got people in all different time zones shuffling in and out. There's not any sort of announcement that this is going to happen. So you have a small following coupled with the chaos of when people are buying and selling, and with no clear targets, there's no clear orders. It just doesn't, you know, if it were a pump and dump, it's a very disorganized, you know, ineffective way of doing it. And, you know, really, I realize that not every single person that follows me can profit from every single call I make.
Right.
I mean, obviously, it's up to every single person to decide how much profit they want. Do they want to double their money? Do they want to triple? They want to just go 50% up, or, you know, whatever they're shooting for. And I think it'll kind of work itself out in the end, where more people that are perhaps on the greedier side, looking for 10x, 50x, or whatever they're looking for, you know, after they get burned enough times trying to go for ridiculous profits, they'll start, you know, locking in profits earlier. And I think it'll kind of work itself out where more and more followers will. Because, I mean, a lot of people do make money and have told me, hey, you know, thanks for this call. You gave me like 100% gains or whatever. I think over time it'll kind of work itself out where the people they'll get better at it themselves. They can take my advice for what it is, even if they want to trade opposite to what I say. You know, that's their prerogative. I mean, it's whatever they want to do.
Now, with the markets ripe for scams right now, what do you attribute to how scams are occurring and why so many people are getting fooled right now?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we have a lot of people in the space that really don't understand technology very well, or maybe not at all. You know, they just don't know what they're doing at all. It's almost like they're trading stocks for companies they don't understand. But the biggest thing is that you have a lot of people with this idea they can get rich quick, and they see, you know, these absolute trash projects going up 10, 20 times what they were, but then they quickly crash, and they don't understand, you know, the intricacies of, you know, looking at the order books, looking at the, you know, the buying depth, the selling depth, and all that stuff. They don't understand that someone could easily manipulate the price of some of these things with, you know, a half a Bitcoin or a Bitcoin. It
Yep.
doesn't take that much in the large scheme of things to cause huge moves. That coupled with the fact that people don't seem to care about the quality of projects, they don't seem to care about the anonymity of the key players involved. I mean, there were people that were buying up BitConnect when it was known it was a Ponzi scam.
Yep.
And I mean, it was simply because they were greedy as shit and they knew that it was going to rebound, or they felt like they knew that it was going to rebound. And I mean, sure, some people might have made off with some money, but you know, it goes to show that people are willing to take extraordinary risks for really not that big of gains. But I think that will eventually stop as more and more people get burned playing chicken with, you know, situations that are just not favorable for anyone. So
again, it goes back to experience, right? If you don't understand what's going on, it's really easy to fool somebody, you know. It's experience.
Exactly.
For those who may not understand why you and others choose to be an anonymous character, explain why you're anonymous.
Yeah, so I mean, when I started this channel, it really wasn't, you know, that big of a deal. Like, no one really cared what I had to say.
Yeah.
I had very little followers. It really was like no big deal. I was a one-man show. I just upload things as I wanted to say things, and that was that. But as it grew, I noticed that even the slightest thing, even people that were making money off my calls were getting pissed at me. And, you know, it kind of blew my mind. I'm thinking, okay, what the hell? Like, I just helped make this guy some money, and he's pissed at me because he's accusing me of something I'm not even doing. And, you know, it elevated from there till, you know, suddenly I'm starting to get death threats.
Oh, yeah? That's serious, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, and I don't think a lot of people really appreciate the fact that, you know, public figures in this space, and I'm sure the people with, you know, larger followings than mine probably get a lot of that stuff too, even though they're not doing anything, a lot of them. It's just kind of, it comes with the space. Like, someone's always going to be mad because there's money involved. You know, people can get rather, you know, emotional about it. And, you know, although a lot of these threats are empty threats, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily scared. And the reason why I stay anonymous is because I consider it just stupid to just come out with your identity when it's like, okay, people now know they can find out where you live, they can find out where you work, they can find out, you know, who your family is. I mean, like, literally it just opens up all sorts of possibilities. If someone's crazy enough, or maybe lives close enough to you, who knows what they could do. And in fact, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but I had an early supporter of the channel that was helping me on the Facebook front. Because I couldn't handle all the different social media outlets. I mean, as it stands right now, I hardly have enough time to look in the Telegram chat and keep track of what's going on in there, let alone handling, you know, a Facebook page or, you know, the YouTube video uploads, and then, you know, the tweets and all this stuff going on. Plus, I don't even have a personal Facebook page. So I didn't want to create one for personal objections. I don't agree with their privacy policies. So I had someone that was an early supporter come forward. They're like, hey, I'll help you set up a page. And unfortunately, and I will take some fault here, unfortunately, this individual has been tied up with my identity. And some people have been plastering some pictures and his name on Twitter and some other outlets. I've tried my best to have these things taken down for his own safety, because actually this person is no longer a supporter of the channel, and did take down the fan page for Crypto Mirage on Facebook as a result of death threats he received. And actually, he told me someone actually showed up at his house.
No way.
So, I mean, it escalated to the point where I didn't think it would, but, you know, unfortunately that happened to that particular person. Now, you know, part of that was, you know, like, as an early supporter, you know, he told me some stuff about his life, right? I mean, like, it was more of a personal, I mean, I didn't know him face to face, but, like, he told me some stuff about his life, and he's just kind of confiding in me as, you know, this person that he looked up to. And some of the stuff he told me, I actually felt bad for him, and I was like, you know what, you know, I got this following, it may not be large, but maybe I can, you know, get them to kind of give him some words of encouragement. And that kind of just further perpetrated this whole, narrative that that person was me. So for what it is, I did make amends with them. I actually did send him some Bitcoin as kind of like a, I'm sorry, I got you involved in this shit after I heard about his, the person showing up at his house.
Sure, yeah.
But there's nothing I can do about it now. It is what it is, and I feel unfortunate that happened, but it was eye-opening, and because of that, I will never, reveal my actual identity. If anything, I'm just going to remain Crypto Mirage until, the day this project reaches its conclusion, if that, is me dying or whatever.
Now, do you think it's easier for people to get mad at you because you are anonymous?
I mean, I honestly think that they would get mad at me whether I'm anonymous or not. I think that it wouldn't matter either way. It's funny because some people get pissed at me, and then like 4 months later, they're back in the chat. They were back in the chat. They're begging me to unban them or something, and it's just like whatever. I mean, I'm pretty easygoing, and a lot of people, I think they misinterpret my kind of sarcastic responses as me being angry at them. Or, the thing is, I'm as calm as a cucumber. I'm sitting over here just chill. I actually find it kind of amusing how people get so riled up over stupid shit and start, saying things. To me, it's kind of almost like, in the Twitter sense, when it's like the back and forth, it's almost just like a game. I don't consider it, I don't take it personally. I don't really care what they say. Yeah. It's more just like, how can I, make a funny, sarcastic comment that has a point? Like, I don't want to just, put, random crap, but like something that has a point, but it's also sarcastic. That's just my style. I don't know.
So it aggravates people. It's safe to say that, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Where do you foresee the crypto space looking in 5 years, and how do you see your involvement at that time with crypto?
Well, in the next 5 years, I would say that it's probably going to be a pretty turbulent ride. It's not going to be this nice little rosy, rise to $50,000 Bitcoin or, whatever. Some people projecting up to $250,000 per Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I don't see that occurring without any massive turbulence in the next few years. And I mean, with how fast it shot up in December, up to 20,000.
Yep.
I'd say that we're, looking at the market cycle, we're in for a little bit of a, pullback period, which might take, it might take a few years. It just depends. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are looking for a run to happen later this year. It might not. I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, no one is. If we were, then we would just basically take every dollar that we possibly had and throw it at it. But, I mean, I think that people need to understand that when they're in this space, they should be in it for at least a few years, not trying to flip money every week, every day, every month. I mean, it's fun to flip every once in a while, but, for the most part, they should be trying to maximize their Bitcoin, because I think that a lot of these projects are going to die off.
Yep.
A lot of the altcoins are just not going to make it. They're not going to get the community they need, the hash power, and it's just not going to be there. And we're going to basically narrow this space down to, let's say, like the top 100, which is probably even kind of, optimistic in terms of how many coins will actually make it and be viable. But you'll say like top 100-ish, and then the rest of this stuff's going to go into the, probably underground trading, where people are just like almost like penny stocks type situations. Yeah. I don't think that, they'll still be there, but there's not going to be a lot of volume. Really, I'm more interested in, in the next decade, seeing cryptocurrency become more of a, mass appeal type thing, where it's not such a fringe topic. Like you go talk to most people, and they don't even know what Bitcoin is, or
right.
They vaguely heard of it. They don't really understand anything about it. They don't have any of it. I'd like to see that change in the next 10 years, where more people are more aware of it. More people are actually using it. I know that you can spend Bitcoin like on overstock.com and some other vendors, but it's kind of limited right now in terms of, how easy it is to use. And I think that in the next, 5-10 years, we could see that change, where it could be more, mass appeal, more people using it. And of course the price would appreciate considerably, considering there's not that many coins out there.
Right. I am going to go to some Twitter questions. You ready for these?
I'm ready.
So I've pulled up the Twitter here. So the first question I've got here is from Chicks of Crypto, and my guess is you're not going to get a Christmas card from Chicks of Crypto, but it says here, how many coins projects has he had public feuds with?
Okay, so the only one that I've had a public feud with the actual team is Hex.
Okay.
And I mean, I can go into a lot of detail about that.
We'll talk about it in a bit at the end. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, but that's the only one that I've ever had an actual feud with or some sort of dispute that's taken to some social channel. I mean, I wasn't really thrilled with the way Z Classic played out.
How come?
Especially with how
Bitrix, yeah.
Yeah, they really fucked everyone with the last minute. Oh, we're gonna support the snapshot bullshit.
Yeah.
But you know, despite all that, I had no beef with the the team. I took a little bit out on Bitrix. I mean, I have some tweets on there where I'm like, Bitrix are, they're a little bit shitty for what they did. But I mean, obviously Bitrix is not going to get in a feud with me. They're just going to be like, yeah, whatever, we don't care.
It's true, yeah. So just the one with Hex, but like I said, we'll get to that in a second here.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if this is you in disguise who wrote this one, but where's his braveness come from? I don't know what that means. And what he learned about crypto aside the technology. What have you learned from crypto aside from the technology?
Let's see, where have I learned beside the technology? I mean, I've learned a lot about just the way people, like the psychology.
Yeah.
I mean, just seeing the way people buy stuff, the things that trigger them, the things that make them buy, the things that make them sell. How frail the space is. I mean, like, something as simple as a doctored up fake screenshot can freak out people to the point where they're dumping their coins like there's no tomorrow. And then before you know it, it's like, wait a minute, that's not even a real screenshot,
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just, you wouldn't even think about that. And that's one of the reasons why I think a lot of these projects will eventually die off, is because, I mean, there's obviously nothing that someone could doctor up to really plummet the price of Bitcoin. I mean, it really comes down to, like, if a government says they're going to ban it, or if there's something major that's, like, legit in the real world. But, when you start talking about, like, these, let's say bottom feeder coins, these coins that are way down on the list, something as simple as taking the lead dev's, screen name and making it look like he said something he didn't, it could literally tank the project 50% overnight.
It's unreal, eh?
It's crazy.
It is. Another question here coming in. If you're looking to buy cryptocurrency at an ICO, what questions are you going to ask the team development before investing in that?
Yeah, so I've only lightly invested in a couple ICOs. I didn't go heavy on them because, I mean, you got to take it for what it is. It's a project that has not even launched.
Yep.
It's something where you're basically trusting the team to deliver on what they're talking about. And as we've seen with a lot of these ICOs like EOS, things are not always so smooth on the front end. Even with Ethereum, they had some, shit on the front end that kind of fucked them over. And then, of course, they broke off in Ethereum Classic, Ethereum, and all that nonsense. So, I mean, even ones that have turned out to be successful have had shit happen in the beginning. But, I mean, obviously, if it works out, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Things that I look for, I mean, there's really not a whole lot you can do because, there's no product to look at, right? It's just all theoretical.
So how about we switch the question then to when you're looking at a cryptocurrency itself, then what are you looking for in there?
Cryptocurrency?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, cryptocurrency is really three things that are important to me on the front end.
Yeah.
Who is the team? And preferably, like, I want to see identities. I want to see social media links. I want to see that these people actually exist. They weren't just created yesterday. They're real people.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is their roadmap and, where they see their project goals. Because, I mean, you can tell a lot by the way someone phrases their roadmap. Are they trying to purposely make it look like it's like the next, sliced bread or something? Or are they trying to be realistic with it? So you can kind of tell from that. And then the third thing is, what's the social media buzz? So, like, how many people are talking about it on Twitter? How many people are talking about it on stock tweets? Is it under the radar, or does everyone already know about it? And then, of course, look at what the price action is in combination with that.
Okay, I'm pulling up the chart of Hex.
Yep.
So we're going to get into that. So for anybody who doesn't know about Hex, there was obviously a lot of drama. You and I were both involved with that. I was upset. It was a project, I got in early. And I had a lot of coins, and I thought, we were taking this to the fork, and a lot of good shit was going to happen. And then when the wheels fell off, I kind of lost it a little bit. So let's kind of take it back, and we'll go through the story of Hex, and you can tell your point of view. So how did you get into this project?
Okay, so way back when.
Yep.
I believe this was like early April, if my memory serves correctly. I don't have the exact date.
Yeah,
early April.
That's about right.
Yeah, that sounds about the right time frame. I was talking with one of the admins in my chat, which a lot of people know, Devious Nuka.
Yeah.
And of course, people know that he went off and made another username, which I'll talk about that here in a second. Okay. But he actually found the project, and I get no shortage of people suggesting projects. I get people who are like, hey, check this project out, hey, check that project out, sending one after the other. But he found this project, and he specifically, mentioned that he thought it looked like a ZCL-like opportunity.
Yeah.
That had not quite pumped yet. I mean, it had gone up some, but it was not. I mean, it was under $1 at this time. It was like 60, 70 cents. So I looked into it, and after I looked into it, I'm like, you know what, man? You could be right. Like, there's a lot of potential here. This thing's sitting at under $1. Even if it went to just $2, $3, that's still great profits. I don't know how high this thing can go.
Yeah.
The volume looks like it's shit. Like, no one knows about it. But, I was like, there's some potential here. Now, at this point, the following of Hex was actually smaller than my following. So, I mean, we're talking, there was nothing. They had no mouthpiece. They had no volume. It was just a bunch of people off in a corner kind of like talking to themselves about how they're going to do this fork, and no one's paying attention. So, I didn't really, I didn't know the entire team at this point. I didn't know who all was involved. I was pointed in the direction of Shiki, because he was kind of the PR person for Hex at that time. He was kind of the face of the coin.
That's right.
Really didn't hear much about Dev 007 or any of the other people that were, working behind the scenes. It was all Shiki. So I ended up interviewing him live. And for the most part, I didn't take objection with any of the things that he responded with, other than that he mentioned he thought Hex could get listed on Coinbase. And that's one of those roadmap type concerns where you're like, okay, that's a little bit lofty. That's a little, overhyped type of thing. So I didn't like that. And I tried to give him a chance to, pull back that statement, but he just kind of doubled down, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, if that's what he wants to do, it's not the worst thing. Maybe he's just super optimistic. I don't know. But it wasn't long after this point that, Devious went off. He created the account Indominus Hex. The Hex team had acquired him for marketing purposes. They needed someone that could, type up and speak English better.
Yep.
Because a lot of them were from all over the different, places in the world. And, one of the things that a lot of people have pointed out about this whole situation is they're like, oh, I didn't know that Devious was Indominus. And it's just like, because he came in our chat, that Crypto Mirage chat, and he kind of like, acted like he was someone else with Indominus, but it was just a joke. It was a brief joke, because as soon as he did it, he came clean with me, and he's like, hey man, that's actually me. And I'm like, oh, I had no fucking clue. And he's like, what do you think about the name? And what do you think about me working on the Hex team as a marketer? I'm like, I don't care. You're just an admin in the chat. Like, it really has nothing to do with the Crypto Mirage channel or anything. So like, what does it matter?
Yep.
And so he decided to roll with that. And of course, he let the people in my chat know, hey, I'm the same person. Of course, some people claim that they didn't know. They must have not read the chat, because it's in there. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that gets typed in the chat, but whatever. And but one of the things that I didn't really foresee was that a lot of people, when they see Devious talking or Indominus, for some reason they think it's me. And I guess it's because we have the same logo. He uses the Crypto Mirage logo. He is an admin. He has been for a while. And, he has some history with the chat, where he went to Bitrix with the whole Z Classic thing. There's a lot of stuff involved there. But people get confused all the time that we're the same person
Mm-hmm.
when we're not. We're clearly not. We don't live anywhere near each other. We don't know each other. It's just, one of these things. But I didn't really suspect it would get to the point where people were accusing me of shit that they were also accusing him of. And it's just like, what the hell's going on? But, we had some people, basically accusing me of being on the Hex team, which isn't true. I was never on the Hex team. And then,
So Ron Biggs or whatever that was, that's not you?
yeah, Ronald Big, that's not me.
Not you, okay.
Yeah. Which I got some stuff to say about that. That's kind of hilarious. But
okay.
So I did release a few videos on Hex, obviously.
Yeah.
And, the community appreciated it, and kind of like Z Classic, a lot of people wanted to watch those videos and get what they want out of it. But the day that all hell broke loose, the day that basically the price plummeted.
Were you talking about the first time or the second time, though? Because we had two.
The second time. So the first time, let's go back.
Let's go back to the first time.
Yeah, so the first time all hell broke loose, I was caught basically with my pants down because it was completely out of left field. It was like no one gave me a tip. There was nothing. I literally woke up and it's just like the fucking sky is falling. People
yeah, me too. That's it. Yeah.
And I'm just like, what in the hell is going on? The price is plummeting.
Yep.
I got people messaging me that, this person on the Hex team said this, and, the developers kicking the Shiki out.
That's right.
Yeah. Of the core chat. It's just like, what in the hell is going on? So I'm like frantically trying to get a hold of Shiki. I'm trying to like figure out who are these people that are saying things and try to get their side of the story. And, after I heard everyone's side of the story, it just sounded like to me that maybe the developer got drunk and then just made a stupid mistake. It didn't sound like he was trying to intentionally tank the project.
Yeah.
But at least that's what I got out of it.
Do you still think that was the case? He was just drunk and stupid?
It sounded like he was just drunk and stupid. Now, I don't know anymore because, like, after the second time this has happened, it makes me wonder if this is something that they plan each time, because I noticed on the first dip it bounced really hard. I mean, it bounced ridiculously off of. It got below, like in the dollar range, and then it just went right back up.
Yeah, it did.
And there was really no clear resolution as to what had happened. No one came out and said, "Oh, here's a really good explanation for why Shiki got kicked out of the core." That none of that ever happened. I mean, it was just more like, "Hey, we're just going to ignore this, and the price is just going to recover for no good reason." So, and then it happens again, and it's just, it makes me think, it's just like, well, are they just doing this on purpose and then scooping up more? I mean, I don't know. Obviously, people have accused me of that.
Yeah.
But I don't have the ability to tank the price of a coin from 130 some odd thousand sats down to 37,000 sats.
Yeah.
If I had that kind of power, I'd be fucking doing it every fucking day and just keep loading up and just watching it go back up. I mean, like, why wouldn't I? Like,
yeah.
It's just that it's not something that I can do, unfortunately. So, but yeah, on the second time, I got a tip from someone, and I don't like to reveal sources because, like, they won't want to tell you stuff because they don't want people to know who they are.
Sure, yeah.
But the guy basically told me, and I was at work when this happened. I'm sitting at work. I'm not expecting to have to sell my Hex, and someone's like, "Hey, you better sell your Hex today, like right now, because the dev is getting ready to transfer some coins to Cryptopia and dump on everyone." So, of course, when I see this, I'm like, are you shitting me? Like, I'm at work. I'm going to have to leave early to go and, get these coins out of my wallet, get them on the exchange, because, I mean, they were not sitting on an exchange. They were in nodes.
Yeah.
They're generating coins. I'm totally caught, like, unprepared. So I'm just like, is it really this, timely? This has to be done now. And they're like, you do what you want, but, he's getting ready to dump. So, I trusted this person because they've given me some good tips in the past. So I was like, you know what? I'm not taking a chance. I got a lot of coins. I mean, kind of like you, I bought a lot early on, and I bought some as it moved up, thinking it's going to go higher. So I run home, move these coins over, have to wait for 20 confirmations, and then I just slowly start bleeding them off so that the price doesn't tank.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to do is cause a panic. Because first of all, it's going to hurt me because I'm not going to get enough back out of it, and then secondly, it's going to hurt because who knows how low the price is going to go if I just start dumping coins like crazy. So I'm slowly bleeding these off. I keep it more or less within, like a 5-10% margin of what the price was when I started. And, then I knew I have a lot of followers that are in Hex. So I had to make a decision. Do I just sit there and wait for them to find out? If this person drops on them, like I've been told, then they're all going to be pissed at me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, really the only right thing to do here is just to tell my chat, because like if I go to Twitter, I go to YouTube, a lot of people that are not part of my chat are going to see it, and then it's going to cause mass hysteria. So I was like, I'll limit it to my chat. I'll just tell everyone, hey, I've sold my coins. I don't believe in this project right now because this lead dev is showing me all this shady behavior. I don't know if he's actually going to do it, but he said he was going to exit scam. And oh, by the way, he moved 27,000 coins into Cryptopia, so it looks like he actually might do it. So, of course, that didn't stay in my chat very long because you know how news spreads.
Oh yeah.
People were spreading stuff in the Hex chat.
All hell broke loose.
All hell broke loose. People are selling like crazy. Yeah. I don't know whether the team members were selling or if they weren't selling. I'm not going to really speculate on who was selling, but enough people sold where it dragged it all the way down to 37,000 sats. I'm sitting here watching this like, what the fuck? And then, people are asking me, are you buying back in? Are you buying back in? Are you going to buy the dip? And I'm just like, you know what? I could probably make some money if I did, but I really don't feel comfortable touching this because, like, if this guy drops, he could literally wipe out the buy books in an instant.
Yep.
And I don't even know what his cost basis is for his 27,000 coins. For all I know, they're all development coins that he didn't pay shit for.
Right.
I don't know where they came from, and no one knows where they came from. So I just didn't want to even take a chance with, trying to swing trade that. I stayed out of it, even though people are like, "Oh, you're buying the dip. Congratulations."
Right. Yeah.
Bullshit. But then the situation got even more nasty because. I mean, obviously, I'm out of it, and the Hex team's pissed because they're gonna see me bad mouthing their project, and they're not gonna like that the price is low. Even if they're not trying to exit scam, they're obviously not gonna like that either way. Well, then I start seeing these allegations of 15,000 development coins being stolen, and they're blaming me, they're blaming Indominus, they're blaming King of Hex Street. And I mean, I guess they're blaming me in the context of this Ronald Biggs.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this and I'm like, what the fuck? The first thing I do before I do anything else is I pull up the Explorer and I start looking at the 4 development addresses which are public. You can see them on every transaction that every minted transaction. You can see the development addresses. So I went and checked them out to see if that many coins or if there were any large withdrawals, like just looking for something to see what were they even talking about. Is this something that even happened? I couldn't find anything. I mean, you can go look at the Explorer. There's no 15,000 coins leaving the development fund addresses. So I don't know what addresses they're talking about, and if they're just talking about some random addresses, there's no telling where they're coming from or who they're sending them to, because if it's not those 4 development addresses, it could be anyone's wallet. I mean, it could literally be them sending them coins to themselves.
Yep.
We don't know. Like, we don't know who owns those wallets.
So I'm just going to say 2 things that come out of this is, one, you saying you just kind of got sucked into this madness when you had fuck all to do with it. And exactly. 2, you think that JJ and Indominus had nothing to do with it.
I don't think they did. I mean, it looks too similar to the last time when they've already ousted another marketing team. Why do they keep blaming the marketing team? I just don't get it. It's happened twice. It's like I don't understand. And what's even more insulting is, and this is something that I didn't even look up because I mean, obviously I have better things to do than look up people's names, but if you look up Ronald Biggs, it's the name of a freaking train robber.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's almost like the Hex team is so blatant about it that they put a fucking Easter egg in there just to insult the intelligence of the whole community to say, look how obvious we can be. We can put a fucking train robber in there with our fucking marketing team, and you guys are so stupid that you'll still buy our coin.
Oh yeah, somebody was trolling somebody with that profile.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how to describe how crazy that is. When I saw that, I was like, you got to be shitting.
So what about Davos 007 being anonymous throughout all this?
That is the most troubling thing because, I mean, he is the lead dev of the project.
Yep.
He has basically the keys to the kingdom. And, we don't know who the hell he is. There's been allegations that he's the former developer that's already exit scammed this coin before.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of shadiness about it. And they've made, every time I've talked to Shiki about this, he's made it abundantly clear that Dev007 will not reveal himself no matter what.
Right.
And I've told him, I'm like, look, the only way that Hex is going to have any chance in hell of any sort of recovery is for that guy to go away.
What if he reveals himself, comes out and says, hey, this is who I am? This is my
story. If he reveals himself or goes away, that's the only way I can see this recovering in any substantial way.
So you think the future for Hex isn't that good?
I really don't think so.
Do you think that's it, you're going to see an exit scam here? Do you think they're going to go through with everything? Shiki just made a post. He's going to do a live chat about the Hex change and the updates there.
Yeah. You know what? I really don't know. Because at this point, I don't think they expected what unfolded to unfold. I don't think they expected the price to go to 37,000 sats and all that nonsense. So, maybe they will still exit scam, but it'll be like another month from now when people kind of forget what happened. Because, people in this space have really short-term memory.
Yeah.
So, like, by the August time frame, who knows? Maybe people that have not heard about all this will be like, hell yeah, this is like an easy 5x, and then the price will jack up, and then that's when they'll dump on everyone. But, I don't think they're going to dump on people like immediately after all the drama. I think that they would probably wait a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
But just like they missed their deadline with the major exchange that was on their roadmap, they listed on Livecoin, which even that came a week after when they said it would. But, that's small details. I don't think that this fork is actually going to take place on the 31st.
No.
I foresee them kicking the bucket down the road in an attempt to get the price to go higher. But, by that point, they're going to lose so much trust that I don't really see it doing much of anything. Even if it goes up in the meantime,
yeah,
it's so unpredictable and so dangerous that I don't feel comfortable putting any money in it.
Do you find it difficult, the situation where, we're a community, we know these guys, and now there's a lot of fighting where everyone was once friends? Is that hard?
Yeah. It's hard for everyone. Yeah.
So anything you want to say to everybody in Hex Nation? Closing out on that?
I guess the biggest thing is, obviously, I have no malintent towards anyone who's invested in Hex.
Yeah.
I really feel bad for them.
Me too.
I don't want to see anyone lose money. Obviously, in any trade, there's going to be winners and losers. But it's not like I get off on the fact that some people lost money.
Yeah.
And, I wish them all the best. If it goes back up to 200,000 or even higher, great.
Yeah.
Obviously some people are going to probably come and shit talk me, but at the same time, it's like, why would I be upset for them that they made some money?
Yeah.
I just don't feel comfortable putting my money on the line after all that I've learned about the project and what's going on. So
the bottom line here is you feel you were wrongly accused for everything when you had no involvement whatsoever. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I want to close it out. You got any hot coins on the go? Anything you want to talk about that you're excited about?
Not right now.
No.
I'm literally going through lots and lots of, people have posted lots of different projects they want me to look at. So I'm looking at dozens of projects right now. Here in the near future, I think one way to address, some of the fallout of how Hex went down when I, announced it in my chat, I think I will be starting a paid chat that's separate from the free one. The free one will remain, but I think I'm going to have a paid chat, and that way, if shit does hit the fan again, or if there's something that needs to be said, I can say it to a smaller audience that actually has, we'll say more allegiance to the brand. They actually value the calls a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's not to say that I'm not going to say the same things to the open chat, but it'll be delayed to allow people that are maybe more heavily invested that same opportunity that I had during Hex.
And when are you going to be starting that?
I think I'm going to start that probably probably into July time frame.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking into it and deciding on the way it's going to work, and how I'm going to make sure that I spend enough time in there to make it worth their while.
For sure, yeah.
I can't just have a chat where it's just sitting there dead. But Yeah, I'm definitely going to start making some more videos here shortly about just the general market, Bitcoin, because obviously that's not as polarized.
Yeah.
There's not as much tribalism when it comes to just Bitcoin in general. Just focus on that and, get back to some of the root videos that I did early on where I talk more about some of the TA analysis that people like, the technical analysis. And then I'll branch out and do some videos on some coins. I think the way I'm going to do it, though, is instead of focusing on one coin, I'm going to basically present a few different coin options. That way people can't say, like, oh, you're just pumping that one coin.
Right, yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at now.
Last question. December 31st, 2018, what is the price of Bitcoin?
That is a tough question. I'll just take a stab at it, and I'll say, we'll say 15,000.
Okay.
I'll say 15,000. I think it's definitely going to be higher than where it is now, but I don't think it's going to be quite back to the all-time highs.
I agree with you. I'm seeing like 11, I think, around that time.
Yeah, somewhere in the teens.
I hope so, anyways.
We'll see.
We will. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on.
I'm sure we'll see each other in the chaos. It's all these chats. Thanks again to Crypto Mirage for the interview. And I want to remind everybody, go check out my Twitter profile. I got giveaways happening all the time.